city of all black-clad filth!
Your Grace, I see the commander. We must train our efforts on him.
Very good! There's a time to reap, a time to sow. Hail Katza!
Time I taught you some respect.
One goal's all I need. Give me a target. Ballista, your command.
Your Grace, there, on the horizon. Reinforcements for the foe.
Alba!
Look at the
The Queen uttered a juicy curse.
doomed. We stand not a chance.
Attack!
Your Grace, I see the commander. We must train our efforts on him.
Alba! Should have listened to me, old lady. Very good! One goal I need.
Time I taught you some respect.
Give me a target. This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
Keep calm, Tiberius.
Arbalest at your command. My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Your Grace, there, on the horizon. Reinforcements for the foe.
Very glad!
Left, right, left, right.
Hail, Herzer.
Again and again and again.
Hail Katza!
An army's a waste of time for one like you.
Yes.
Armor won't save.
If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Scheiß! In Trade!
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Off to the front yet again.
Scheiß! In Trade!
Attack!
Your Grace, I see the commander.
Ha!
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads. Arbalest at your command. Very glad! Armor won't save.
Grace! I see the commander!
Attack!
Your Grace! I see the commander!
Left, right, left, right.
Alba!
Again and again and again.
There, Igual!
An army's a waste of time for him like me. Left, right, left, right.
Tuvin, Igual!
Give me a target.
Time I taught you some respect.
Abolist at your command. Should have listened to me, old lady. Armor wants it.
Your Grace!
Alba! Enad Fane!
Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei! Off to the front yet again. Quiet! What comes up here?
There, Igual!
Tell me you jest.
One bullet's all I need. This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
Elhurter!
Give me a target.
Brach! Scheiß! In! Zwei!
What do you want of me?
Off to the front yet again.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
finger.
They retreat! Your Majesty, the city's ours!
The Nilfgaardians fled in panic, abandoning war machines, shields, and arms, even their wounded. The defenders rejoiced. They laughed boisterously, and cries of delight and chanting could be heard all around. "Warrior Queen," they shouted. "Meve, Meve, Meve!"
Hear that, Your Grace.
I do. No sound rings more lovely to a ruler's ear. Yet rest on our laurels we cannot. Caldwell, the situation in the town, what can you tell me?
Wall breached. Thrice. 400 wounded, near 1,000 without roofs over their heads. All nothing compared to the grain stores. Went up in smoke during the siege. And it's some time yet afore the harvest, Your Grace. The war's just begun, I know. All coin should bolster the army, yet if we leave the folk of Dravograd no gold, there will be hunger, with all the attendant discord.
The drought of 1258 I remember all too well. I saw famine, what it drives folk to do, the extremes. A strong army I need desperately, yet not at all costs. The townsfolk need gold to survive till the harvest. Count how much, then give it to the garrison commander.
As you command, Your Grace?
The battle we've won, there's just the war that remains. And Nilfgaard will strike again, doubt it not. We must move on. Caldwell, ride ahead to Lyria. My son must call a gathering of the Council of Peers. Tell him so. We'll have much to discuss. Reynard and I will follow with the troops. We shall seek out any Nilfgaardian stragglers, prevent them from rejoining the main force.
Meve's two adjutants bowed and left the Queen to think. She was hungry, sore from the fight, spent. Yet sensing her soldiers' eyes upon her, she set off for the stable, her gait brisk, her head held high.
Golden armor! Golden air! Reeks black!
Guardian boot. Thought 'twas certain as snow comes with winter. Lady, a strange boat floated past. Thought it was Geralt. Fleeing up black sails.
Horns sounded. Neve recognized them at once as those of the Lyrian vanguard. She drew her sword and prepared to face the invader. Yet coming down upon her force were not Nilfgaardians, but bearded warriors clad in leather, horned helmets on their heads. This was not so. The Queen could not believe her eyes.
Skelligan raiders? This far inland? Reynard, what the devil? Sea raiders here.
For blood!
Tell me you jest.
Arbalist at your command.
The gods are with us! Left, right, left, right.
We'll ransack your temples!
Let us put our steel to the test! Again and again and again.
Give us all you got!
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
Olga Blackhand's taking on new swabbies. What do you say?
I'm a monster.
Gods are blowing fair winds the day. You've got stones, wench.
Warhawk devour ye!
Got a bad case of Rover's back.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
horn sound.
Reynard, what the devil? Sea raiders here!
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Tell me you jest.
Left, right, left, right.
For Brad!
Again and again and again.
Let us put our steel to the test.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
For Rivia! Oh, Lyrian lummoxes.
We'll run!
Ariel's been chosen. The gods speak to him.
Ogre Blackhand's taking on new swabbies. What do you say?
What do you want of me?
One boat's all I need.
Gods are blowing fair winds the day.
Got a bad case of rollers back.
Left, right, left, right.
You've got stones, wench.
You wanna pass, you gotta pay. Can't let you through elseways.
Give me a time. Arbalist at your command. I promise you a quick death.
What is it?
The Skelligers fought hard, fought bravely, brought mayhem. Yet the Queen's ordered, disciplined force won the day. The islanders seemed entirely undismayed at their defeat. A trait of theirs, I must admit, I've ever admired.
Well, you're right scrappy for landlubbers. Lippy Goodman applauds you for your pluck, Queen. When we sup, me and the lads will drink your health.
That we shall yet see, sir. We must know something first. What brings you this far inland? What drove you from the sea?
Meve asked, crossing her arms.
Ha! What always drives us? Looting and pillaging. The coast's picked clean since long, so we set our longships up the Yaruga for gold and glory!
Your very actions do so. You've attacked a land preoccupied, a land already at war with invaders. but I suppose it makes sense. You've ever feared to attack Imperials?
The Queen prodded gently.
What did you say, wench?
Gudmund had quickly turned red with rage.
I'll prove just how wrong you are, I will! Why, we'll be drinking mead from Nilfgaardian helmets for sundown! Follow me, lads!
Me.
Here the damage seems not so great.
It appears Nilfgaard's not yet turned its forces towards the capital. We're likely to encounter no more than pathfinders and foragers.
So I hope.
The Nilfgaardian invasion necessitated certain steps. Niamh had dispatched scrolls to her garrison commanders, based upon which they were to announce general musters. She'd hoped that by the time she reached Crydam, fresh recruits would be waiting to join her growing force. Alas, the commander of this fort, one Sergeant Griggs, had only bad news.
Your Majesty, I've not the numbers to man the walls even. The call to arms brings few new recruits and more men desert each day. Folk are terrified something awful. They don't believe in victory.
Since love of country seems insufficient motivation,
Niamh said, standing up from behind the table.
we must make coins speak. Sergeant, announce that all new recruits will receive twice the usual soldier's pay.
Though costly, Niamh's decision brought immediate results. Lured by the promise of gold, townsfolk in droves enlisted with the garrison. The Queen left Crydam poorer, but encouraged, as she had a stronger force in tow.
A dragon! A live one, seen it with my own eyes. Had wings like a bat, and a mess of teeth.
Tiny Bevels, hungry like a wallfire. I'm a monster.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Lady, something's wrong at Abbott's Ravine. I heard whinnies and screams at first.
A contract on a monster. Interesting.
I'm a monster. One gold. Give me a time.
You can try to win them all, but you won't. Her Majesty is exceptional.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Arbalist at your command. Armor won't say.
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
Armor won't say.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
I only use corpses. Sometimes they're quite fresh. Can use this.
Armor won't say.
Can't take it anymore.
Oh, ashamed to let this empty waste. I only use corpses. Sometimes they're quite fresh.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Give me a target. Arbalist at your command. Arbalist at your command.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Use this. If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Armor won't stay.
As Meave and company traversed the ruddy meadows, strident voices, upon spotting Meave, the lords lowered their voices, bowed and presented themselves. Though she faced the not at all trifling matter of the Nilfgaardian invasion,
From what I've gathered, you've both burdens on your conscience.
said the Queen.
And I've neither the time nor the inclination to ascertain who started this feud. You will split the orchard in two. Make do with half a piece.
But my queen!
Should my judgment displease you, Mansfield, I can always incorporate the land into the crown.
On their way to the capital, Meave and company happened one fine day upon a lone rider. Had I been at her side, I would immediately have recognized his passionate gaze and altogether chivalrous mien.
Identify yourself, sir, and your intent.
Ake of Denell I am dubbed, and my design I never conceal. The good book says the world is a garden which the gods once conferred upon man, and we men have this garden neglected. In consequence, all manner of filth has made its lair here. Drowners, ghouls, and other kobolds. I have sworn ne'er to rest until the day when, with the gods' help, I have rid the world of these beasts and pests. I wander all lands, seeking out evil and facing it in mortal combat.
Who do we spy? A knight-errant?
Just as likely a madman. How goes your hunt? Caught the trail of any monster?
Monster? Too fair a term by far. An exceptionally vile worm has made its lair in nearby caverns. It is said to be the very distillation of filth. A slithering horror. A mélange of the macabre. Its head, that of a wild cat of Ophir. Its maw full of spiked teeth. The wings of a bat it is said to have.
Perhaps it will be most prudent, then, to send for a witcher.
A witcher? Soulless automatons they are, all. Feeding on common folks' fears. What they demand gold to do, I perform without demand of any coin.
Sir Ake, far be it from me to discourage you. Your endeavor is noble, no doubt. But from what I have heard, manticores are exceedingly dangerous beasts.
To defeat this filth alone could be a difficult task, I'll not deny. Yet try it I must, for it is what I have sworn before the gods.
We shall help you find and fight the manticore, provided you then pledge to help us fight an even fiercer and filthier beast.
Of course, my lady. Yet what manner of horror is it? A viper? A griffin?
Were it only. 'Tis a beast of 1,000 heads, covered in black armor, its fire consuming whole villages.
Noble lady, I know bestiary is only in parts, yet I've seen some of the world, and never have I heard of such a terror.
You need but look about you, and spot Nilfgaard's legions.
Devastating. But you must forgive me, Your Grace. This struggle between realms is not one to which I can lay a hand.
A manticore. How great is its appetite? How many men does it fell? In a moon, let us say.
It changes. At a time when the horror broods, it may be as many as 20.
I see. As now you must. Nilfgaard in my capital could mean as many as 20,000 felled. You live to fight evil, injustice, do you not? You can fight none greater than by doing so at my side.
The manticore, Your Grace, must fall first.
Agreed, so be it. This monster...
To the north, my queen.
Not a scrap. Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Blood's all...
'Tis in these ravines. The beast is near. I sense it.
At the furthest depth of the winding, gloomy canyon, scouts found the maw of a great cavern. Among the boulders outside it, whitening bones lay strewn. Ake dismounted and drew his blade.
By the god's grace, we found the beast's lair,
he said, lifting his gaze to the heavens.
We need them but to extend their favor as we battle the filth.
Meave cast a critical eye at her shield. Wood clad in leather and thin plate. Enough to stop a sword, certainly, but would it protect her from a beast's raging blow? Noticing her hesitation, Reynard approached the Queen and said,
Your Grace, none will utter a disparaging word should you step back.
But they will think them,
replied Meave.
and that's bad enough.
adorn his wicked brow!
Gods protect us.
You control.
Where its claws! Beware!
Can't take it anymore.
Left, right, left, right.
One bullet's all I need. Give me a time.
Again and again and again.
Arbalist at your command.
To the ground with you, pestilent filth! Prepare to fight, if you've any honor. We must thank the gods for this victory both great and just.
With Ache at their side, the Lyrians fell the Manticore. Later, it was said the beast's dying wail, multiplied and strengthened as it passed through the caverns, could be heard as far as Spala.
Your Grace, many monarchs have I met in my time, yet none proved as virile in battle as did your Majesty.
Virile? I dislike the term. Seems not to suit a woman. I prefer valiant. Yet grateful I am for the compliment. Now pray reveal, have you made your decision? Will you swear to serve me? Are you prepared to take an oath?
I am not, Your Grace. I can serve only the gods. Yet, I do believe them to be on your side as one unjustly and treacherously attacked. Thus I see nothing wrong in assisting you.
Then I am content and welcome you in my ranks, Sir Ache of Denel.
The knight-errant bowed low from the waist. So low, in fact, the gambeson neath his mail creaked. Meve could only hope he would battle Nilfgaardians as boldly as he faced beasts.
I see you found the mess tent. How's the ale?
'Tis not for me to say, Your Majesty. My tankard holds but milk of the goat.
Milk? A witless prank.
Unnecessary, Your Grace. I called for the beverage.
Is that so?
The good book states clearly, the shadow of spirits obscureth light most true, and leadeth thee from the path of virtue.
Right. I suppose there's something to it.
My soul sings to hear your affirmation, Your Grace. If ever you wish to discuss the good book and the wisdoms contained therein.
Certainly, I shall remember that. Your crusade against monsters.
Come next Bellatane, it will be 20 years, Your Grace.
For what reason? Had you grown weary of the knight-errant's life?
Not in the least. Never shall I cease in my quest to cleanse the world of filth and abominations. But at times evil puts up rather a good fight. I ventured forth to slay a dragon once. A gold one, as it were. Calling itself Villa Tretormeft, or the like. Its very name, as is evident, a vile toil. A great many mercenaries embarked on the hunt, lured by the promise of coin in heaps. The Crinford Reavers, Yarpen Zigrin, and a band of dwarves. Even, curse the word, a witcher. One Yennefer, the most lecherous sorceress at his side.
That name I've heard.
But at the deciding moment, when the beast challenged all, I alone emerged to face it. Alas, though shame burns me to admit it, I returned from the battle upon my shield, figuratively. For 2 years, I lay in the temple of Melitele in Alanda. Mother Neneke, God's protector, nursing me back to full health. And only when I could once more grip my sword did I return to the path I'd chosen.
And the dragon?
Some claim it flew off to Zerrikania, though it very well might yet lurk here.
Farewell, Ake.
One of them golden suns belongs on the side of my own ship!
lots of folk moving about of late. Valyria is our own.
We welcome you home, Your Majesty.
Home at last, Your Grace.
Rather die than tell him she would. But I know where she kept it. Sit tight. Sketch it out for you.
Neve had ridden out of Lyria in early spring, her retinue modest, as none larger was needed. Neve and Willem rode side by side past the cheering throngs.
Welcome home, Mother.
And I'm happy to see you. Though I dare say I'd have been much as you leading an army to... Willem, I trusted you. Left the realm in your care.
Indeed. And I, in turn, did...
Willem, don't be so damned courtly. There's no one else here. My son. Nilfgaard has invaded our home. We're at war. When rulers don't strive and don't choose, when rulers grab their swords and shields and ride out to defend their subjects.
You didn't let me finish.
For 'tis not the time to waste even one word, my son. I need to prepare.
And indeed she did, when the peers convened in the throne room. Surrounded by animal hides and Zerrikanian tapestries, the Lord stood in tense silence, awaiting the Queen.
We've myriad matters to resolve, so I trust you're well rested. Whatever the case, firstly we must ask assistance. Pen a letter to King Demavend. Scribe, take this down. Dear... What? Uncle? Cousin?
Your Grace. Mother.
Yes? Out with it.
We wish to acknowledge Nilfgaard's authority. Pledge fealty to the Emperor.
I beg your pardon.
The black-clad hordes outnumber our forces manyfold, and they're far better equipped. We stand not the slightest chance against them in open...
You will not lecture me about Nilfgaard's army, my son. All you know of them you garnered from coloured renderings, whereas I faced them at Dravograd.
But your Grace, the losses! For this fleeting victory in which you delight, how many of your subjects had to perish?
Nay, never! Understood, Caldwell?
I'd hoped to persuade you, but it seems I've failed. Nonetheless, the die's been cast. We've signed the accord with Nilfgaard. Our noble lords stand with me.
The blood left Neve's face. She had realized her son, who had ever professed to detest politics and shirked his duties as crown prince, had just stabbed her in the back, as had her entire court.
What is this? Treason to my eyes! The gallows is what awaits you!
Willem rules Lyria now. And should you not acquiesce and approve the accord, I fear only you, milady, shall have the pleasure to meet the hangman.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Caldwell. My mother will not be harmed. Not one hair on her head. Understood? Confine the Queen to the tower.
You err deeply, my son.
The Queen was confined to a cell. Gilded armor she had traded for a simple robe.
Have I come at a bad time?
Demons take you, Caldwell. You've long been at this scheme, haven't you? You left the strays of Sparla to roam the realm, to forage, so that I would have to look to them. And thus gained your cohorts the time they needed to complete Lyria's sail to Nilfgaard.
You've seen through it all, that's clear. I'm not nearly the poor strategist you thought me. The boy's not fit to wear the crown. Hasn't sufficient wit nor valor. I know this. You know this. Just, he knows it not. Willem fancied himself a statesman. Wished terribly to prove he was one. I made it possible. I've been amply rewarded, I have. Palatine since just yesterday, in fact.
You'll have neither my blessing nor congratulations.
I seek neither. I've come for another reason. Willem does not seek your death. Does not even fathom it, as you well know. Moreover, his resolve will wilt in time, and he'll wish to free you. So, come the morn, when the young king rides out to pledge fealty afore General Epdahi, you shall use your bed linens to hang yourself.
I see. Plough yourself with a pike, Caldwell. And you needn't send your thugs. I'll not falter nor hesitate.
Adieu, your grace. And use your last evening wisely.
Meve felt a rush of despair, yet bit her lip to mute any weeping. No, she would not give Caldwell the satisfaction. Morning arrived with the sound of footsteps in the corridor. Meve rose from her cot and stood in the center of her cell. She was prepared for anything. Well, nearly anything.
The Duke of Dogs.
Titles seem senseless under the circumstances, don't you think? Let's forgo them. I'm Gascon.
Has Caldwell sent you? To kill me?
No and a no. Actually, you're free.
How shall I put this? That cad, Count Caldwell, used yours truly and the strays as bait in a scheme aimed at kicking your shapely backside off your throne.
Now, I'm hardly vindictive. First to forgive, in fact. Take your threat to send me to the gallows. Forgotten already. Yet being played for a fool, I cannot abide.
So when the strays freed me, I knew what I'd do to spite the Count afore I disappeared. I'd free you. That's to say, on one condition. You've got to request it of me, my lady.
For my realm I will do this, and much, much more. Thus I beg you, Gascon, Duke of Dogs, grant me my freedom.
Ha! Incredible! I've lived to see someone grovel with dignity. The true ruler you've got to be. You are free.
And grateful. Now please let me pass. I must get to the city jail at once.
Would you look at this one? Free her from one prison, she flies off to the next.
They hold Reynard there. And if I've any ally left, anyone who's not betrayed me, it's him.
Hold, my lady. Unarmed? Alone?
Have I any other option?
In a sense. See, they locked a few strays in the city pits, too. Got a common cause, I'd say. Care to join forces?
The Queen took Gascon up on his offer. Then she, Gascon, and the strays snuck through the city to its dungeon. Reynard had not wavered for a moment in his devotion to the Queen. Never the slouch, he had also not lost any time.
I've inquired among the other arrested soldiers. Many are prepared to fight, even die at your side, your grace.
Seems they may yet get their chance.
Yet in leaving the jail, the company ran into trouble. When Caldwell's cutthroats had failed to find Meve in her cell waiting for her secret execution, they had informed the Count. He, in turn, dispatched patrols into the streets.
Gascon? Bloody hell, where'd he get to?
Your Grace, we must make haste. Caldwell's roused the whole city by now.
Should have listened to me, old lady. Sod it. Sod it all. This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads. Don't like this. My spirit's willing and how, but didn't think I'd leave you just like that, did you?
Honestly, I did.
Cursed traitors.
Catch!
Again and again and again.
Your Grace, what guarantee do we have that they won't stab us in the back?
I smell a leak.
Army's a waste of time for one like me. Left, right, left, right.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die. Arbalist at your command.
As you command.
Aye.
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth? I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
I thank you, Gascon. You are...
'Tis no, my lady. Strays never say no to a proper brawl.
No brawl this was. Sun rising against Mother. Lyrian striking at Lyrian.
Come now. Seems to me the war's ended. Your realm's lost to Nilfgaard. You've no army to speak of.
Then I shall assemble a new one. And with it have Caldwell hanged. And drive Nilfgaard back across the Yaruga.
You're mad. How will you find the men? Riding from hamlet to hamlet, speaking from atop a crate?
No. I shall find them in Edern. I've a favour to call in with King Demavend. And I'll sway volunteers to...
Well, you've your first will...
How so?
We've nothing left in Lyria. Our hideouts are compromised. Caldwell's sure to set a price on our heads, and Nilfgaardians roam the land in numbers. Besides, I'll be right tickled to see proud Queen Meve.
Well, it is said my foe's foe is my friend, and I'd be a fool to turn down assistance now.
Very high-minded of you, my lady. So, shall we shake on't?
Lyria was hers no more. Meve now had to flee her capital and realm as quickly as she could. Wont to travel the city streets in a gilded carriage, the Queen now saw them from a slightly different vantage point.
Is this the only way? Are you quite certain? The Queen?
Is a common fugitive now, so she'd do better to pinch her nose and whinge not at all.
At long last, Neve reached the gate. Yet this she found shut tight, locked and guarded.
Gods be damned!
Easy, Your Grace. Nothing we can't solve with a quiver full of quarrels.
Those are our men.
They were, Reynard, were.
Gascon's raiders were poised to loose their boats, but were thwarted when the Queen stepped out in front of them.
What she... Your Majesty? I've orders to arrest Your Grace.
Place me in irons, then.
Please understand, I haven't a choice.
Fear not. You'll be rewarded by Caldwell in Nilfgaardian Florens.
The captain's head dropped. His cheeks burned crimson.
Go, Your Grace. Flee now, but only to return.
Remember this, Gascon. I'm no fugitive. I'm a queen, robbed of her rightful crown. And though I may need to venture to the world's end before I return, I shall have it back.